So, Cyborg.
Yes.
Um, the first thing that we are going to deal with in this episode, obviously things are slightly timey-wimey. Starfire's turn happens kind of congruent with
Hmm.
this one. So that has not yet kicked off to its full intensity. You will know. Um, so Cyborg, you
Yes.
guys are you have just shut off the power. You are in the building. If you guys go to the roll 20, um, you will see down at the bottom. Um, you and Captain Boomerang are there, and you guys have a couple. You have knocked out a couple guards, and you have a couple like technicians for the dam, like up against the wall, and yeah, and you have shut off the power. So that means that as you speak, that Beast Boy and King Shark are probably swimming in and installing the bombs. Um, so you know that there's probably going to be a military response, and that's what Raven and Killer Frost's jobs are about. And you guys can join them to aid in their retreat. But they will probably, yeah, have to engage with that. But also, you do know that in between you and that situation, at least if you travel along the pathway there are two guys who you circumvented with your stealth on the outside before, who are probably going to notice very soon that the power is turned off and maybe come inside the building.
Oh, okay. Well, we should hide behind a door and just kind of like smash their heads in together when they come
Uh,
in.
yeah. Captain Boomerang looks at you and goes, "Oh, I'm good with smashing heads."
All right. In a way that knocks them out when their heads smash together, you know?
Oh, yeah, because that's totally a realistic depiction of violence.
Hey, look, where their heads are gonna hit each other really hard. It's possible they'll die. It's possible they won't. I'm hoping for not.
Well, here's to hoping.
Alright.
All right. So if that's your plan, I guess you guys have these scientists like tied up or whatever,
Yeah.
um, and gagged. I assume.
Yes. They're
Okay.
appropriately tied up and gagged.
Okay. So if your plan is to stealth, then I'm going to need a stealth check from you.
I mean, to be fair, part of our job is a distraction, so going loud might actually be advisable. But
Yeah, yeah.
it,
I'm just saying if you want to catch them by surprise when they come
yeah,
in.
let's do that, and then we can just start shooting up into the sky and being like, "Woo!" or something.
Gonna be hard to be louder than the Tamaranians fighting tanks over there, but
Yeah, well, the more distractions, the better. All right. Okay, so yeah, that's my plan is to hide on either side of the door if they're coming this way, and just like, yeah, just just bash their heads together or something.
Okay, roll stealth. And if you have any abilities you want to use, let me know.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna roll it straight with my +1 and hope for the best. That is a 9.
Okay. So a 9. All right. So as you are huddling down, you think you're obscured. Um uh you Captain Boomerang like stands. He actually goes to like a weird corner of the room. Uh like he's not even near the entrance. Um but he's hiding behind something over there. And a few moments later, two men, you hear some boots, and the two men from outside uh appear like pass through the doorway, and they're in the room there. they're there, and I mean, I'll give them. No, I mean, no, you won't even beat their passive. So they immediately look, and what they see is like you with your like big body and like shoulders and blue shoulders, like sticking out like behind like a comically small like a desk thing, and they immediately point their guns at you and start yelling, ah! And
And I
but
yell back, "Booyah!"
you can so they are not surprised. um so I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
Okay, which is the exact same thing. That's a 13.
Captain Boomerang, he gets a 15. So one of these two guys goes first, and so he's gonna just unload on at you. You have well, no, I don't think you even have cover because
Yeah.
well, no.
Half cover. I mean, there's something in front of me, right?
I'll give you half cover. um
That's fair.
okay, that is a 19 to hit you. Half
So-
cover grants
Yeah,
where is
2
it?
plus 2, and it
Plus
doesn't
2.
hit.
All right.
So I just
So
lift up the thing I'm behind and just like ting 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 ting.
yes, and some are even like glancing off of like your shoulder plating as well. But it is ineffective as he fires off some a few like rounds with his like AK. Um all right, now it's Captain Boomerang's turn, and he is going to throw a boomerang. Who could have guessed? So he rolls two 24s and then a natural 1. So he in that corner over there, you see these boomerangs fly out from the corner. He's still hunched behind cover, but he just chucks these boomerangs and they arc like throughout like around in the room and smack these guys in the head in such a way where they just like it just like delivers blunt force like to their heads, and then the boomerangs still like travel back somehow, like insane physics. But so the first one knocks out one of the guys
Okay.
instantly, and the second one does the same thing. They both fly out. One actually hits the wall weird and falls flat, and you're like, what the heck? But the other one, the other two smack these guys in the back of the head, and they just fall on their like and crumple to the ground.
Nice.
It's just-
I grab one of their radios, and
Mhm.
I turn it on and I growl into the radio. I've knocked out your guards and I've got your scientists, and I'm about to eat their faces and anybody else who comes up here. I
Uh,
turn it
okay, like right as you're turning it off, you hear a response of like someone yelling at you in Arabic.
off.
And but that's it. Okay, so you took those guys down in one round. So you know that the next military force will probably engage with Raven and Killer Frost, so you can start moving to meet with them if you want. Or hell, I mean, um, Captain Boomerang, he stands up and like goes and retrieves his one. He's kind of like critically inspecting his one boomerang that missed and didn't return to him, and he looks and goes, nice hiding, mate. So
Thanks.
you want to go help those ladies? You want to get out of here?
I do like helping the ladies.
Eh, fair enough.
I mean, at this point, we've done our job. You can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna head that way.
He goes, eh. I haven't taken any scuffs yet in this mission, so yeah, I'm not too worried about joining them.
All right. He says, I say, you can't fly, can you?
Psh, what's with the old flying super speed?
Hey,
I can do just fine.
hop on my back. I'll give you a piggyback ride.
Um, roll persuasion at disadvantage.
Okay. um, that is an 8 because I critically failed.
Oh, wow, even better. Okay, yeah. He doesn't seem like he seems like at first he seemed like the kind of person where you could have some good banter back and forth, but his face just sort of like he just sort of frowns and doesn't say anything.
All right, man. You don't have to. Let's go.
All right, so you are heading out to meet up with Raven
Yeah.
and Killer Frost.
Yeah, let's head that way.
Okay, so distance, these are 10-foot cubes. Depending on your mode of travel, whether you cut across, it could be shorter, but distances are accurate, and your movement is how many rounds it will take to get out to them.
Yeah.
So do
Okay.
so you if you walk, it's like 115
Right.
to get to this end, and then 180 to get to where they're standing.
Takes a
So
second, but
y-
I
yeah.
honestly, I do have a sense of teamwork. I'm
Mm.
probably going to not stray too far from Boomerang if he is actually sprinting in that direction.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get there at his
Okay.
normal speed. Yeah, he's like a normal guy. He runs. He can do 60 feet in a
All
round.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna start running that direction. So I'm at 40 feet instead of 30. Oh
Okay.
wait. I think I might actually be at 45. Yeah, I have +5 moves, so that would put me at
Hmm.
45 base.
Yeah, because your armor. Okay. Um. Yep. So you start running. You are 15 feet ahead of him.
Right.
So let's see. 40. So 45. You can dash. Then what's that?
To 90.
You'll be there within. You'll be there with movement left on your fourth round, and he
All
will
right.
be lagging behind, but he has good range with the boomerang, so it
Yeah,
probably won't be an issue.
same here. I'm going to be paying attention to my range on my.
Okay.
So, anyway,
Okay. So, yes. All right. Now we go to Raven and Killer Frost. Obviously, the power for the dam goes off and everything starts to grow quiet. But in the moments after that, there's a lot of commotion out on the shore, and this formation, people start, probably looking in binoculars and things and seeing you guys out on the bridge, and this unit starts making its way across the dam and has been making its way, um and so you can see on the map there ahead that there are this group of about um 16 16 men. Um, Now, when we get into combat, 13, those 13 in the front will be a squad, like we fought once before, just for the simplicity. And then those 3 units are individuals. Um, so you see these people, they start approaching, marching forward with their guns raised, but these are they have not yet started firing, but they are going to, and this is the part of the mission where you need to like stop them so they don't like overwhelm Cyborg and Captain Boomerang. So and turn the power back on, most importantly. And make Beast Boy and King Shark fish food. So I would like you to roll initiative.
21.
Nice. That's good. Okay. Killer Frost rolls a 16. So she didn't do too bad, but you do get to act first. So Raven, you with your high perception, you notice these people coming first, and you may act first before the squad of people who have started to raise their guns as they approach closer to you. The distance from them to you is accurate. It's about 85 feet to the first one. So yeah, what would you like to do?
Are there any like big boulders or like giant rocks on the bridge there?
Um, Not exactly, but there are definitely portions of um like the walls on the dam that are like big cinder blocks that you can like pull out and throw just like a big boulder. So mechanically, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I think I'm just gonna cast Cause Fear.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna
Let's
sit in front of my partner there.
Okay. So so that is a 60-foot range. So they have to be within 60 feet of you to be affected. Um so you could fly up to them where they would be affected and then do that if you want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my movement.
Okay, yeah, you've got a 60-foot fly speed, so you should definitely be able to fly 60 feet, which would put you.
I don't want to get too close.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want
Okay.
to stay in the middle.
So 60 feet from that point is, yeah, you'll get them all.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can move up there if you would like and cast Cause Fear. And they have to make I mean, I don't know if they even can succeed because you're so ridiculous, but yeah, wisdom save. Uh, let's see. No, because your save is over 20, so they will all become afraid. Oh my
Is it
god.
all?
Fuck it, we ball. Okay. So you fly up and then there's this um you start looking all crazy and creepy and with your cloak floating it there in the air, and these men probably, yeah, they all tremble in fear. The frightened targets can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, but they will auto fail, so there's no point in that. So it will last a minute.
What?
uh, yeah, so yeah, a frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight, and the creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear. So as you fly out there, they effectively all stop in their tracks,
Yep.
and cower. And so when they attack, they will get to attack at you, but it will be at disadvantage. Now it's that squad's turn there. These men all cowering see you up in the air. Yeah, they just they start frantically. They have no organization anymore. So they just start frantically like firing up in the air at you. Each one's going to be at disadvantage. However, there are a lot of them. So they will get to make a few attacks here. But each one is at disadvantage. Yes. So out of all of those attacks they fire out in the air, many go wide. But some bullets do catch you. So that is going to be okay. You are shot by a gun, 20 points of piercing damage. A bullet against pretty bad odds still manages to strike you in the shoulder, and you have just this horrid pain, and you're bleeding as you take 20 points of damage. It is Killer Frost's turn. She casually moves a little closer, I'll say, but just her regular move. Well, I mean, yeah. And in front of you, where all those guys are, this globe of energy fires out past you, like these icicles, just these like high concentrated like icicles just flying past you in a point, and they hit like a point like where where all those people are, and then they just like explode like a fireball going off, but like it's a huge ice as she casts freezing sphere. So they all have to make constitution saves or take lots of damage. And it's kind of a horrifying sight, as she is very clearly living up to her name in this moment. One of those guys in the back is going to be less bad off than the others, but the rest take 36 points of cold damage. Now, this is kind of representative of like some of these individuals getting like frozen solid, dying, but not everyone. Because while they are individuals, mechanically they're like a big unit of guys. So for sure, narratively, what you see is some guys just straight up die. And those guys in the back, they're not looking good, but they're still up. Those three individual guys. So that's what happened. This huge explosion, icy explosion, happens, like a big ice choo-choo exploding. For more references that Paul doesn't get, but Charlie does. So the unit is looking kind of like shredded up and hurt, but they kind of muster themselves. Oh yeah, those guys in the back are each looking pretty bad. Okay, and she just laughs maniacally. She goes, "You're gonna have to do better than those magic tricks to defeat people out here, girly. You've got to be merciless. You've got to be cold." Very stupid. So yeah, that's her turn. She explodes some people. It is now one of those dudes' turn in the back.
One of the not exploded ones.
One of the not exploded ones. Okay, so this guy here is gonna move. Oh wait, no, he can't move closer to Raven. That's bad. Damn it.
It's not OP at all.
We're ending this season how it has begun. Okay. Well, he could move around. Well, no. Yeah, he has to go forward, so there's not really the space. He's on a bridge, basically, so there's not a ton of space for him to go around you like Cinderblock did in that first episode. So
I know what I did.
Yay. Oh my god. Well, okay. So he is like, looks at you, and he's like, it's clear with like your insight, you can see in his face, he knows he has to do something, but his knees are like basically knocking together, and he can't bring himself to run forward because of you there. Now, these guys, you notice, have these like tanks on their back with these like hose connected nozzles. Let's see his range for that. Yeah, 30-foot cone. He's gonna pull out a pistol. He pulls out his sidearm and fires it at disadvantage. No, he rolls a 10. So he desperately tries to shoot up at you, but he just rolls a 10. The next one is gonna have to do the same thing. Oh my gosh, you're stealing natural 20s from me, damn it. Yeah, that's a 15, so I don't think that'll hit you. Yeah, and this last guy does the same thing. They all pull out their sidearms and start shooting up at you. Oh wow, you blocked another natural 20. So that is an 18. Okay, you take 8 points of piercing damage. And it is now the top of the new round. It is your turn. You haven't these guys are pretty cowed. Although they're still there for sure. Killer Frost has killed some people, so that's something. What would you like to do?
Does it seem like they're gonna like kill us if we kill them, kind of thing? Like how bad are these enemies?
Well, you are fighting a military. That is kind of their job.
Okay, so it would
yeah.
be really bad to maybe attack them.
Yeah, to attack them is like they're gonna fight back to the death. But they're looking hurt, but they are still up. With your passive insight, you know that obviously if they take more casualties, then they will probably retreat. But it's just a question of how many of them have to die by Killer Frost's hand before that happens.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Can I start like grabbing pieces and rubble and building a wall to try to like slow them down?
Yes. In fact, that is such a creative question that it forced me to be more creative. I am gonna say that in that instance, because obviously mechanically Raven can do more things than even just the telekinesis spell allows for. So I'm gonna say that a use like that is gonna replicate something like the stone wall spell. That seems appropriate. So yes, you start picking up rubble, and if you spend your turn on that, because that is an action, then you can create a wall as per the Wall of Stone spell, which is 6 inches thick and is composed of 10 10-foot by 10-foot panels. Each panel must be contiguous with at least one other panel. Alternatively, you can create 10 10-foot by 20-foot panels that are only 3 inches thick. Point is, yes, you can create a wall that is too tall for them to immediately climb over, made out of stone that like blocks their line of sight with them and stuff like that. Yes, you can do that. It will break concentration, which Cause Fear does need, but they'll be behind a wall, so it probably won't matter if you'd
Okay.
like to do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and just do that.
All right, so
Want to make it so the wall also kind of blocks my partner who's trying to kill them.
yeah, for sure. So as you realize what's going on here, these men, brave but outclassed, you construct this wall with your telekinesis in front of them, and they cannot see over it, and it covers the sides, like they cannot pass through this area anymore. They'll probably have to get some explosives to get through this, so that is definitely blocking them off for a while. You've got Killer Frost there, and she already didn't really like you. And she just
geez.
looks totally furious. She goes, "Ah, dang it, you kids! Ah!" She just seems like she can't even speak straight because the DM can't think of what to say, and because she's just too angry. So she looks pissed. She's not like attacking you, but she looks pissed. But you know that, I mean, this does satisfy the requirements of the mission. This will hold them off in time for all of you guys to get away.
Yeah.
Okay. You do notice at this point, you probably noticed it already, but it's starting to increase in intensity, that the forces down the ravine are now starting to engage with Blackfire and Starfire, and they are having a pretty like, or they've been doing that while you were fighting, and now it's getting particularly intense with like like tanks shooting off and a whole bunch of stuff. You are like, you kind of look at your shoulder where you got shot and are like, yeah, that's like, it's like that times like 10 at least, or 20 down there. She like, you turn and look, and you see like a tank shell hit Starfire, and she's boof into like a wall, and then she like rushes back and like like punches something, and
Jeez.
it's crazy. And Blackfire is like shooting eye bolt lasers at people down there, and it's pretty nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, what would you like to do? Are you just, you see um Cyborg and Captain Boomerang running up to join you, but you seem to have stopped this engagement, so you guys can um all flee together if you would like.
Yeah, yeah. If it seems like that's what we need to do, then I'm gonna flee.
All right, do we think we've caused enough of a distraction, or do we think we need to keep firing into the air or something?
Okay, so you guys you fly past, and Cyborg quickly starts running after you.
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang kind of like stops for a second and looks at Killer Frost like, "What? You kill them all already?" And she goes, "Oh, shut up!" and runs past them, and then he like starts tailing behind. So they are running out as well, and you guys run down the dam past that guard building from the power station from before, and start running into the desert. As you are running out into the mountains, out into the desert, you start seeing the bright lights increase in intensity of the fight of Starfire and Blackfire versus lots of tanks. And now we will switch to Robin. This is the moment where you start seeing these lights building up. That's definitely Blackfire and Starfire engaging with uh troops on the other side of the dam, and you are down the river in that or on the outskirts of that military facility. You've planted the bombs, and this is the part where you hand off the detonator to Harley Quinn, and the explosion goes off just as like the sky is lit up by the explosion, as the another part of the sky is also lit up by this like massive, like these purple and green lights just like swelling and connecting out there, um which is concerning to you, but it's very far away and you doubt you could get there in time to do anything about it. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and make a perception roll for me.
Okay, I'll take that. 27. Natural 20.
That's wow. Okay, so you notice against the crazy light against the sky, you see a little flittering shape like a bird, but the flight pattern is wrong. In fact, you're very familiar with these creatures. You see a little bat streak across the sky. Would have been unnoticeable against the dark night sky, but for this light, you see it streak away from the um the military facility, and um dart off into the desert, actually in the direction that you're supposed to go to get to your rendezvous location at the end of the mission.
And is it like close or is it far away? Like I can see it like way far in the distance, I assume.
Oh yeah, you when you like see bats like flying around in the sky or
Yeah.
something, like it's up in the air pretty far. You just noticed it as a contrast. against the like big explosion that happens, and then flit off into the night desert sky, out towards the desert.
So being like, someone who like researches stuff, would I
Yes,
know?
you know that vampires can turn into bats. In fact, you know all of the like pertinent details that you as a player would want to know about vampires and their weaknesses and all that stuff because Edwina told you all about vampires.
And I also know there's no bats in the
Yeah.
desert
Yeah, probably not.
to a
out there.
general sense.
No. I'm not going to make a definitive claim if there are any nature enthusiasts who are like, oh, but this bat lives in the caves of the... Well, shut up.
There probably are bats in the desert.
Yeah.
Some desert somewhere.
Yeah.
Robin turns to Harley. I think we've been spied upon.
She says, oh, I told ya. They're always listening.
Question. Where was he coming from? I'm trying to think of like where he was coming from. Was he coming from where we were? Or over by where the explosions were happening?
He was coming from like the facility. So you don't know how long he was there, if he saw you guys or was watching you guys.
So, like he might know what I saw, type thing.
He might, yeah. It basically, with your passive investigation, you absolutely know it is possible that he was sneaking around as a little bat and might have seen certain interactions or heard things or whatever.
Well,
because you guys were in like a back room at one point, and no one was in like the room behind you, so you don't know if he like, and that really, is all he would need to confirm that you have seen what he wants destroyed.
Harley, sometimes you like the element of surprise when you're dealing with slippery characters. I think we just lost.
She goes, then let's get loud, Robbie.
For once, I agree with you.
Okay. So, yeah, you can start heading out into the desert towards your rendezvous location where you'll meet up with everyone if you would like to.
I'm going to rendezvous to my spot and change out of Red X clothes.
Okay, yes. So you do dip.
Important.
Okay. Change out of Red X clothes. Wardrobe change. And okay,
it's our secret.
Oh, we got secrets. We draw nearer and nearer to the end of season 1. Thank you so much if you've been listening up to this point. It's been really crazy. This has been going for about a year, and I couldn't be happier with it, to be honest. So, if you are listening, then you know that we're going to have a special episode after we finish this arc called Teen Titans Talk, or just Titans Talk, where we talk about the kind of creative process of the whole thing, what went behind my choices and even the players' choices when trying to characterize their characters. So, if you would like to submit a question to that to ask us, please do so at our Facebook page, which is Mind Theater Media, our Twitter, which is also Mind Theater Media. Its handle is at Mind Theater TWT. I know that's kind of irrelevant now since it's called X, but I'm not going to change it right now. And You can also email us at mindtheater, and that's theater with THEATRE, mindtheatermedia@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for listening to my podcast. We all really appreciate it. And now, back to the episode. You guys start running out into the desert. There are some response, like people searching, but mostly there's chaos out, and the attempt to pursue any of you guys out into the desert is very minimal. You figure they won't be able to muster that attempt for a while, and so you guys have some time. You guys all start running towards your rendezvous point, and so eventually, one group and then another starts to coalesce back together. I assume everyone is doing that, going to the rendezvous point. If anyone isn't, let me know.
Holy shit, are we in this session?
Yes.
Oh, God damn, I gotta put my Switch away.
I know, I was
Yeah.
surprised by it too.
You guys hear
Yeah,
on
you
your
did that really
communicator,
fast.
he's eating people! He's eating people!
You guys hear that, and then eventually when you meet up with Beast Boy and King Shark, you see Beast Boy just like run up to like whichever group like meets up with him first, and he's like frantic. But then King Shark just like he like tries to like grab you in a big hug. He like
Get off
parades
me.
you. You're freaking out, but he's like parading you over his head.
All right, status report. Our goals accomplished?
He's gonna eat me!
Yeah, Starfire, are you there?
I look thoroughly spent. I look like I have taken 139 points of damage out of 105 HP.
Jeez.
And like I'm a sponge that's been wrung out of like emotions. And yeah, I'm not very outspoken at this point.
She does look like that. Like the soot. Like there was definitely like a lot of like soot and dust and stuff, and there are very evident, like, probably, I imagine, like tear streaks on your cheeks and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
At the very least, it looks like you guys walked away from a scene in the TV show Teen Titans, and I walked away from a Dragon Ball Z battle.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
But also, it was a soap opera too, so I look emotional also.
Yeah. The mascara is running, although it's Blackfire's mascara that is running.
Yeah, I don't wear makeup. This is all natural.
Yeah. Yeah. So very much you all start to meet up together, and start walking as a group towards the rendezvous point. And you see at the top of this hill that you guys are walking up, the silhouette in the night sky and you see this point, this of light, this cigar, and some smoke trailing up. And as you guys are walking up this hill, he raises a hand and goes, "Well done, everyone. Well done. Just down this dune here, and we can get the helicopters out here to pick us up." He kind of turns and starts walking down the hill slowly, carefully.
So Logan, kind of standing at the top of the dune.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you see?
How much do I see? Well, right to the point. He's still walking down the dune, so he doesn't seem worried. He still has his back to you guys. The Suicide Squad people are definitely not like being congruent with any like posturing you make. Your team might follow your lead, but they just keep walking down the dune.
They're notably missing a black fire.
Yes, they are notably missing a black fire. He says, "What did I see?" Well, we can discuss that, Robin, but I'm interested in how things went. Obviously, everyone was successful. I thought this might happen, but he looks over at you, Starfire, and says, "Now, dear, did your sister have to take a leave of absence?"
It would seem so. And I just look upward towards the sky.
Yeah, okay. He just sort of nods. He says, "Well, I thought that could happen. I wish her the best. I really do." He's walking down. Are you guys like walking down the dune as well?
Yeah.
I'm just going.
Following
Okay.
Robin's lead.
All right. So you guys walking after the Suicide Squad people start like chatting and saying things. They're like every one of them got out unscathed. Well, actually, King Shark took some damage, but most of them got out without any damage. They start kind of chatting and jabbing at one another, as has been the case with them up to this point. As they walk down, he says, "Well," "very fine work, everyone. And this may be one of our last moments together. The mission's almost over. Once we get you back to the military base, we'll be parting ways. So if there's anything any of you want to say to me or ask me about arrangements going forward, well, now's the time while we have this little stroll." You guys do start hearing helicopters and like off in the distance. It'll still be like maybe 10 in between 10 to 15 minutes before they arrive to your location. But you guys are just walking out there. So yeah, he said if there's anything you guys want to ask him, might be your last opportunity.
So the assertion is that we will be completely off the hook after this, that we will be square, as they say.
Do you want to ask him that?
No, that I would absolutely not ask that. But if you don't have an answer as a DM, okay.
Yes.
I'll ask that.
Yeah. There it is.
All right, yeah.
Hey, so does this make us square?
Square. It's an interesting shape. Spent a couple of 100 years contemplating it and a few others. He says, "Well, I believe that according to our initial arrangement, that would be the case." He just kind of puts his cigarette's getting low, and so he just kind of flicks the butt of it out into the desert. Very clearly, very much litter. And pull.
Listen here, you piece of shit.
His.
This is where we draw the line.
He pulls out another one.
Nature.
He pulls out another one and cuts it with a cigar cutter and
lets that drop on the ground too.
And strikes it with a match, which he also drops on the ground and starts puffing. So yeah, that was kind of his response. He's puffing on a new cigar.
All right, you know what it mean. I mean, we do you a favor. You did us a favor. We do you a favor. We're good. We're done. Neither of us owe each other anything, right?
Of course, my friend. Vic, was it Vince?
Yeah. And it's not doesn't say anything about you. You can say hi anytime, but I don't feel like doing a mission like this for a while, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Am I getting the vibe that it's definitely not the end from what he's saying?
Roll insight.
Roll insight.
See, this is where I actually needed you. Oh. Add,
Oh my God.
hey, add a 1 to that, so 31.
Oh wow, natural 20 for a
Natural
31.
20.
Hell yeah. He's very sly and subtle. This is his craft. But the factors that you have together that already make you doubtful, and you actually recognize something in him for the first time as like a distraction tactic. He reveals that he knows who Cyborg is. Not a huge surprise. I mean, Cyborg's identity isn't really a secret, but it's an unsettling tactic that he's used against you before, to distract from deception, and you actually recognize it as such.
You know, Logan, there are some interesting things I saw on my mission that I feel like you'd rather be hidden.
He walks out. You guys are at the bottom of the dune now, and where the ground is a little more flat area, and he finally stops, and it takes a few more paces for Suicide Squad people to stop. He kind of looks up at the sky and lets a puff of smoke out, and he's just quiet there for a moment. The only sound out here in the desert is the distant, growing closer but still kind of distant chop of the rotors of the helicopters. And he's just looking up at the sky for a moment. So you know then. You know my secret. You know what they have on me. After all these hundreds of years, me steering them and other governments around.
And studying shapes.
Yes. Something just as petty is my downfall, it would seem. He turns around and looks at your group. He's facing you guys now. He takes off his glasses, and this is the first time you've seen his eyes. These very bright blue eyes. Surprising. They don't look how you would have expected. Now, seeing his full face, you definitely see this, like, he looks out at you and he says, well, I don't know what you plan to do with that kind of a secret, boy. But, and then he speaks, but I imagine that it can't be anything good for me. I'll always know it's out there.
I speak up, I'm like, alright, we get it. Snitches get stitches.
In my line of work, even potential snitches get buried. I'm sure, Robin, that you may not even intend to use what you've found. But I can't let you leave with that kind of a risk over my head.
The one thing I figured out is that even though we might have this information, we're heroes. And we won't resort to your line of blackmail. However, what we're pretty good at is taking down villains.
Are you now? Well, let's see then. And there's this shift. The ground starts to shift underneath you guys, and behind him, out of the sand, this huge thing rises up out behind him, and you see these red eyes first out of this cloud of dust, and you see this figure changed, altered, different, horrifyingly so. He's a little bigger, and he has all these mechanical components holding parts of his body together. He's been enhanced, but also this large domed cockpit opens up on his chest, and Logan leaps up into Cinderblock, who is standing before you, reconstructed, remade, and he looks down at all of you. But Cinderblock's eyes don't look aggressive like they have before. They look kind of like dazed and like subdued.
Oh no.
And he just and
Fire slave.
and he seems to have been reconstructed. It is now Logan. After jumping up, he stands in this, basically it's like a mech cockpit.
Holy shit, he's been Gundammed.
They have turned
And-
Cinderblock into an automobile.
I gotta get me one of those.
And he
No, he's
says,
a person, I think.
well, he looks down. The Suicide Squad people look kind of like they look confused about things, and he looks down at them. He says, "Now I wouldn't ask any of you to aid me, but I would ask that you do not get in my way." And Captain Boomerang immediately goes, "Oi, yep, mate, no, yep, fuck all that." And he just starts like he runs off like to the corner. He's not going to get involved. But
Robin
Harley
looked right at Harley Quinn
yeah.
and said, "Titans, Suicide Squad, let's get loud."
She's
Shark, eat
she-
him.
you are absolutely right. King Shark stands firmly next to you, ready to fight Beast Boy.
Aw.
And Harley takes out her hammer and just starts laughing maniacally, standing alongside your team. But Killer Frost steps over to near now Mecha
Oh, no.
Mecha Cinderblock and Logan up there in the cockpit, and she says, she looks at Raven and says, "Sorry, but even if it's dangerous for me, I've got a grudge against that little bitch." And she points at Raven.
Raven, this is why you're nice to villains.
Hey, is this guy wearing any metal by any chance?
Oh, we will get to that. But the point is, now a lot of him is still stone. He has metal on him, but he seems to have been enhanced in certain ways. But we'll get into what that means mechanically later. Logan sits down in the cockpit, and it is actually this basically like aircraft dome type of material, like seals like in a around him, so you can still see him sitting in there at the controls, but he is now there ready to fight with you guys alongside Killer Frost in this big mech. Now, I think we have time left, but we don't have enough time for this combat. So, I think that this is where we will end this episode of Teen Titans Roll.
Yes.
Wow,
make a
yay!
vampire.
Robot.
A vampire robot mech. And an icy bitch.
Wait,
Now
Yeah.
you can beat her up, Raven.
How did you guys make friends with your villains? I wasn't there.
I just talked to King Shark.
I had
And then
points
he
where
ate people and I freaked out. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
I had points where I asked people to make persuasion checks when being nice to villains. For the most, like, if they did anything exceptionally like that tracked alongside them. Oh, actually, sorry, retcon that. You pissed Boomerang off at the last minute, Cyborg.
Oh man,
That's what happened.
Dang it,
So-
Cyborg!
So actually,
I just
he
asked if you
also.
I just asked if he wanted to ride me.
Oh,
So
oh,
actually,
I missed that part.
actually, what happens in that scene is he frowns like that again. Goes, yeah, I'll take some swings at the Tin Man.
Was it enough to piss him off for him to be neutral in this fight?
Look,
Bro!
these people are like all psychotically unbalanced. What creates
Bro, I thought we
loyalty
made-
or yeah, what creates loyalty or disloyalty to them is like they get set off much easier than a lot of people. So yeah, so that is where we leave off.
Hey guys, I do just gotta add, I tried really fucking hard to get Blackfire on our side.
Listen, you did really well.
Everyone who
You
heard
did really
can
well.
testify to that.
It was very emotional.
The interesting part's going to be like we don't have Blackfire, so that's down. We have Starfire, who's at like what 30 hit points.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm down to 24 or 26, I think.
Oh no, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm also pretty hurt.
Casts heat metal on Boomerang.
And then he yeah. He so
You know what we need?
yeah.
He
Blink.
probably has more Boomerang.